Okay, so we've got some really good answers and stuff on here. I see what a lot of people have done. People have done very logical things. I love it. But we want to clarify with equation solving, okay? Remember the goal. The whole goal with solving an equation is to get that variable by itself, okay? So we got to look at what's going on between the number and the variable. And that number is a negative, but that doesn't mean that we're subtracting that number. So what operation is going on right now between that -7 and the y? Is it add, subtract, multiply, or divide? Well, in order for it to be add, that is logical. There would have to be a plus sign in between. Yes, Callie, you got it. But I love that you said that, Isabel, because everybody thinks that. They really do. It's confusing. But what's actually happening is you are multiplying between the variable and the number in front. So what we want to do is we want to reverse multiply that, which is divide. We're going to do the opposite of multiplying and divide. And the number that we're trying to get rid of is that -7 in front of the y. So we're going to divide by it because -7 divided by -7 just gives me that y. And then 42 divided by -7 is -6. So it's always the opposite of what's going on between the variable and the number in front of the variable. Does anybody remember what that number in front of the variable is called? For bonus awesome points today? Constant. Close. That's one of them. That's one of them. My brain was like, yeah, no, but that's one of them. That would be like if you had a two-step equation like this. This is a constant. Starts with a C.
Wait, what was the question? Sorry, I was.
Oh, it's okay.
My cat.
No? I get it. Trust me. It's what is the word that describes the number in front of a variable?
Oh.
Starts with a C. It's tricky because it also ends with a T. It actually starts with a co.
Kyla, do you know the answer? I don't think she knows the answer. I think she's snapping.
What's her name?
Kyla.
Oh, I like that. She's so cute. I just want to pet her. Yes, Callie and Taylor. Yes, yes, yes. You guys got it. Very good. Although I wish it was Cat. I really do. But it is coefficient. So we always divide by the coefficient. Good. Very good. And then at this next one here, we're going to evaluate, since we can, before we solve that, let's evaluate what that coefficient would be. What would 3 times 0 be? 0. Yeah, so this turns into 4x plus 0. Ooh, my cats are death wrestling right now. It's pretty cool. So that 0 kind of falls off, and we're just going to say 4x. It falls off because I don't really need to type anything about it. You know, I'm good. We can leave it because if we would subtract 0, it's kind of pointless because subtracting 0 just leaves the number. Oh my gosh, I want to steal your cat. I do. Add to my collection.
Well, please don't.
Just kidding. I would never.
Don't say that in the creepy voice.
I want to steal your cat. Just kidding. That is creepy. And now that's recorded. Way to go, Jen. All right. I forgot about that. People are going to watch this and be like, what?
Why is she a cat stealer? Yeah, now my cat's running away.
I scared her away. Oh no. I will find you and I will steal your cat. It's like from Taken, right? I don't know who you are, but I will find you and your cat is mine. Just kidding. Sorry, Ray. I'm sorry. Okay. Whew. Equations. All right. So this one is kind of the same thing. We want to get everything away from that x. Okay. It's not useless. What did you get? I love Blue Sky merch. What? Oh, that's cool though. Oh, I'm jealous. I don't have a pen or
You
a
should
Blue Sky mouse.
Well, you should at least be like thank them and stuff, cause it's like, what if someone else wanted it?
Yeah. Oh, good. Good stuff. No, that's not useless. I know. I know. No, it's a mouse and a pen. You could take your notes with it and the oh, yeah, that's kind of lame. Did you try and get it going? Oh yeah, that's kind of lame. I should send that out there. Be like, if we're gonna send out merch, what? What? Oh yeah, Nick, that's the way, that's the answer. Yeah, I'll mention that. Yeah. That'd be like, thanks for the pen shell. Oh, it does have, oh my gosh, Ben. Ben. Boom. It's still good. Yes. Some of us have to write with real squid ink. No, I'm
Some
just
of
kidding.
us have to write with our hands,
Yes.
cause back in our day we didn't have pens.
Right? Back in, oh wait, I gotta say it like an old lady. Back in my day, we didn't have pens. I didn't write with blood. I used coal from my fireplace. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not a boomer though. That's what's funny. Sometimes I feel like I should be, but I'm not. I'm on the cusp of those darn millennials. That's what I am. You guys aren't even in that. What are you guys called?
We're Zoomers, Generation Z.
Zoomers. Oh. Fair enough. Boomer is like my parents.
The post World War II, so 1945 to, well, I think it's 50. I don't know.
Yeah, I get fascinated with those different distinctions. Okay, I gotta finish this. I'm having too much fun chit chatting with you guys. You guys are awesome. This class is the best. I love it.
I'm gonna tell all the other classes you said that.
Oh no, don't. Oh yeah, don't call your granddad a boomer. He'd probably be like, wait, what? I don't even think my mom and my dad are aware that they're from the baby boomer generation and all that, but well, and let me tell you, they fit the bill. My dad with his Facebook posts, like they would make you cringe. Oh boy. That is the time period. I don't know, that's just what the
Cause they were
generation's
shooting
called.
babies out of cannons. That's why they're called baby boomers.
No, they did not blow up babies or shoot babies.
Like, how do you think babies come from? Obviously, during their time
Okay.
period, like babies were shot out with
Oh my
cannons.
gosh. That reminds me of a really weird video game I played once. I'm just saying. Why is it called baby boomers?
That's why there's so much of them because they just kept on firing.
oh jeez. No, let's I
When
won't.
they got back from World War II, they were happy the war was over, and
There
I'm
you
not gonna say
go.
anymore.
Yep. Nope. I think that's actually the reason. Baby boomers are a designated group of people who were born between 1946 and 1964. They were labeled as baby boomers because during this time there was a statistically significant increase in the number of births that occurred. So
Because babies were popping left and right, and everyone's terrified.
no.
And then they had to run into their homes and bunkers.
Oh, did you meet Ben on the ski hill? That's so cool. That's not good that he forced you, but that's awesome.
Okay, math time. Math
Club penguin.
time.
Oh, in Club Penguin. Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotcha. Hey, that still counts. That's good. Well, yeah, there's a little more understanding about, having. Okay, all right, let's focus back on here. You guys, really good conversations. I love talking to you guys, but we got to get through it. And I don't have tough content today. Not bad. So let's just get through it and then we'll be good to go. But you guys are good. Love that. Good topics. Order in the court. Exactly. Okay, so what operation is going on between this 4 and this x? What does it mean when it's like right in front? Is it add, subtract, multiply, or divide?
It's multiplying.
Multiply. You're right. When it's right in front of the x and when there's no sign in the middle, it means multiply. So we have to
because
reverse
they're
it.
buddies.
They are buddies, but we're going to split them up. Look at that. We're splitting up the buddies
No.
by dividing. And we divided it out.
I guess they have to sacrifice the buddies for math.
Yep. They are done. That's so rude. No, you can't leave. No. So we get -6. So that's good.
Well, at least now we know his identity.
Whose identity?
The X.
Oh yeah, that's right. You done got so. Oh, you guys are so funny. I love it. Okay, so this is what is due this week. Today we're going to talk about intercepts, and we got to watch it and see how we're graphing there. We'll just review a little bit of equation solving and talk about unique lines. It's pretty quick. It really is. If I were you guys, 2 assignments to crank out, never. Sorry, it's a pretty big topic. But it's not bad. Easy peasy. I'll show you.
Because graphing never dies.
Graphing is always around. Always. Oh, you guys are funny. Okay, so remember, see that fractions big ideas quiz? Okay, see that first one? Actually, the second one, the first green bullet there, that one's just a math mindset thing. Put your ideas on there, but it's a quick, easy 10 points. Get it off your list, And then the 2.12, that one was people were really rocking that out in Math Excel. So I don't think it's too bad there. So I would tackle the first 2, and then the bottom 2 might take you a little bit more time, but it shouldn't be bad. Okay. So here begins our note-taking, friends. So make sure you guys get this down. Okay. An intercept, I would write the word intercept and then write the definition. It is a point where the line crosses the y or the x-axis. Very important, very helpful to graph quickly. Okay. And what we have to do is we have to keep it separate. We have to keep track of the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Here's what confuses people. The x-intercept always has a y value of 0. Okay, so when you are trying to get that x-intercept, your y is always 0. So you'll have a value for x, but your y will be 0.
Yeah,
and then
because if you put something there in the 0, then it won't be on the x-axis.
You're right.
Whatever.
You're so right. What's your question, Ben? Oh, that is, you know what? I will bring that up for our next advisement. No, I will. That's a valid question. It is.
It broke the rule 24/7/10 whatever school.
No, you would think, and I'm definitely working with students in Algebra 2 where it's just a matter of let's just get it done, get you graduated, help you out. But this stuff that we're doing, oh, that's not fun. This stuff that we're doing, it's a lot of helpful points there. Seriously, you wouldn't think so, and I will bring that up. That's a really great advisement topic. And I think I'm going to write it down. I'm going to write it down so I don't forget. Uses of algebra. And you know what we actually have to do next week is we're going to work with your sleep statistics that Amy sent me from language. So we're going to do some fun stuff there because it's interesting. It's just fun to do. Hi, Ben's mom. Hello. Sleep is it's a very important thing there. Okay. So the next thing we got to keep track, just like how Aiden was saying, we have to have a y value of 0 to keep it on the x-axis. It's the same way with the y-axis. When you have a y-intercept, your x value is always 0. Okay, so in order to keep it on the y-axis, you have to have an x value that's 0. And that is what really confuses people. So please write that down. If you don't write the whole sentence, I would at least write this first part, x-intercept, and then write the value. So I would write x-intercept, and then I would write y-intercept, because that'll help you with finding it. Okay? Any questions on what an intercept is? Okay.
No.
Good stuff. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept of this equation down here so we can graph it. And right now, ooh, someone's saying that they think that's where those are. I like it. We'll check it. I like it. I like it. Very cool. But those are what we're trying to find. Yeah, we'll have to see if it ends up there. Let's see if they're right. You got to check it mathematically there. Okay, so we're going to graph this equation. And right now, this equation is in what we call standard form. That's different than the equations we were graphing before. We are used to that y equals mx plus b form, the slope-intercept form. That's what we like. But when it's in standard form, we like it, yeah. Oh yeah. Or we might not be as comfortable because you guys did not have the live session, but I'm going to review that today. So hopefully that helps a little bit. But that's a bit easier to graph, not bees. You guys, oh my gosh, someone wrote bees up there. Ah, you're too funny, cracks me up. Okay, but when it's in standard form, we want to find those intercepts because it helps us graph. So first, we're going to take our equation and we're going to find the x-intercept. And when we have an x-intercept, what did we say the other value was? That's okay, Annabelle. No problem. Thanks for coming back. Y. Yeah, what did we say that y was? When we have an x-intercept, what number does the y turn into? 0.
A 0.
Right, good.
Because it's meaningless.
It's meaningless. We don't need it. We want it to go away. So we're going to plug it on in. So we leave the x there and we plug a 0 in for the y. And guys, notice how when I did that, I used parentheses, and I want you guys to do that because if you don't, it gets a little confusing because then you don't know if you're subtracting or whatever.
Because then it
doing.
can look like 20.
It could look like 20. It totally could, and it gets really confusing. So definitely use parentheses. Good point, seriously. So now it's just like that equation that we had for our warm-up, right? What would I do with that 2 times 0?
Multiply them.
Yep, multiply them and yep, I like that line down the middle. That's really good. But I would multiply them because, and then what's going to happen once you multiply it? What do you guys think? What is 2 times 0? It's just 0. Yeah, so it would go away. Yep, very good. So we would be left with 9x, and that 2 times 0 kind of cancels itself out because it's just 0 equals negative 18. And then what would I do to solve the equation for x?
We would divide
Divide
9
by 9.
in negative 18
Yep, you got it.
because we need to find the identity of x.
Yes, this tells us the idea. I love how that's worded. Very good. Does someone have a question? If you don't want to type it, you can type it on the screen and then it's kind of anonymous. If you do, remember that. But please ask any questions. So we divide to find x's identity, and we find out that x has to be what?
Negative 2.
Negative 2, because negative 18 divided by 9 is negative 2. Very good. So that means our x-intercept is when x is negative 2 and y is 0. Yeah, good catch with the graph there. So then we would go to our graph and we would put a dot right at negative 2, 0. Where would that be? That's 0, negative 2. Yeah, we want this one. This one is negative 2, 0. Very good. So now we're going to do kind of the same thing with the y-intercept, only what are we going to plug in for the y-intercept? Oh, I didn't mean to erase all of that, but okay.
Well, since we already have our x,
Yep,
it would be the y.
we would focus on the y, so what would we plug in there for x?
It'd be 0 and then
Right.
2.
Good job. Good job. Yeah, very good. So since we want to find the y-intercept now we kind of erase from our mind what we did with the x-intercept. We go back to the original equation and we plug a 0 in for that x. So we can solve for y. Oops, I wrote x in there. I did not mean to do that. No.
Get out of here.
0. That's what I meant to do. Okay. So, yeah,
so it's like the other way around.
Yep, it's kind of like the reversal of doing it. And what confuses people, and I see some writing up there, people might think that we plug a negative 2 in for x, since that's what we just got, but we don't do that. That's just to find the x-intercept, and once we do that, we're done. Now we're going to go on to the y-intercept, and we kind of start fresh with the plugging the 0 in. So now we do the same thing. We're going to Thanos snap, right? Yeah, it is kind of like a Thanos snap. We're starting fresh, but we're not killing off half the world's population because that's a little extreme there. So, yeah. Don't scribble on my screen, please. It's very distracting. No scribbles.
It's a big no-no.
Yeah, we don't want to do that. Thank you. That's just a little too distracting. I don't mind the comments and stuff, like, but that's just too distracting. Okay, so now what happens with that 9 times 0? What are we left with on this left side of the equation?
We Thanos snap it and it's disappeared.
It's disappeared. It is Thanos snapped. We are left with that negative 2y. Don't forget that that y is actually, or that 2 is negative. And then what would yep, it becomes 0, totally. And then we can just get rid of it.
Wait, why is the 18 positive?
Oh, Good catch, because your teacher wrote it incorrectly.
I
Good
guess
catch
Santa
there.
snapped it for the negative sign.
Yeah, oh my gosh. And we would then divide by the 2, but it would be the negative 2. And that, I'm glad that you said that, Callie, because people often drop that negative because they're thinking opposite. But we want to just do the opposite of the operation, not the number. So we're dividing by that negative 2. So then y would be whatever negative 18 divided by negative 2 is. What is that?
9
9.
or negative 9?
No, it would be 9.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right, because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So then we would have a y-intercept at x is 0, y is 9. And where would that be when I graph it? Yep, right up there. Very good. And then last, I draw my line through it, and boom. Kind of. We're just doing the opposite of the operation. So the opposite of, I know, right? Woo! Okay, any questions on this? And you might have questions when you're doing it. And remember, do the Ask My Instructor or text me, whatever you need to do. Okay. Very good. All right. Good stuff. Okay, so let's review graphing from slope-intercept form. Okay, so all of these, and this is a review, but kind of not, because you guys did not have live session last week. So these equations are in slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. That's slope-intercept form. And which one of those is my slope in that slope-intercept form? Which letter stands for the slope? The y, the m,
the M,
the m. M is slope.
because no one asked for the M.
Right, right. So that is our slope, and that tells us where we're moving on the graph. That tells us how slanted our line is, okay? And that B, the B is our y-intercept. So, so that is, yep, yeah. I'm not sure what someone's doing with the 1/1 in there, but when you're graphing, you guys don't have to do any extra math. All you have to do is just read what that slope is. Yeah, and I'm really glad you guys are putting your thoughts on there because it helps me address any questions you might have. Really good. Seriously. Okay. So the M is our slope. That tells us how to move. And the B is the y-intercept. That's like the starting point when you graph. Okay. Now, if you look at this first equation, actually all of these equations, what are they all missing?
Well, what the Y is.
What the y-intercept is, right? So if they don't give you a y-intercept, where do you think you would start? Oh, I forgot to go on silent. Where do you think you would start? If they don't have a y-intercept, that was my phone, sorry.
Maybe like where the X is,
What do you mean where the x is?
like on the graph.
Oh, like on the x-axis?
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. You actually would. You wouldn't start, and that's what people were doing. People were starting kind of anywhere, but you would start if there's no y-intercept, it means your y-intercept is 0. And where is 0 on the grid here?
In the middle.
In the middle. So all of these are going to start at the origin. Okay, and if they gave you a number there, like if they said y equals 2/3 x plus 2, then where would you start your graph?
In the +2?
At the y is plus 2. You would
Yeah.
start up here. Yeah, very good. Good job, guys. But we are dealing with graphs that start at 0. So we put a dot at our starting point, which is the 0, and then the slope tells us how to move to get other points. Okay, and I'm just going to erase this top one just because I don't want you guys to think we're plotting there. Ooh, someone has I love this. This one right here. That's perfect. Very good. How did they get that? How did they do that?
Oh, they took the bottom 3, moved that on the X, then took the 2 and went up.
Very good. Yeah, that is our slope. That tells us how to move. Okay, so 2/3 is our slope. And Callie, I love how you wrote that. That means from that starting point, you go up 2 and then to the right 3. You will always go to the right. What could make us go down?
A negative?
A negative. Good job. Very good. So this person went up 2 and then right 3, and then they put a dot. And then you could do it again, up 2, right 3, and put a dot. And then you draw your line. Very good, guys. Okay, let's do this next one. So the next one has no y-intercept, no b. So that means we start where?
We start with the negative 2x.
Well, we use that information, but where do we, because we have to put a first dot on there. We got to have a starting point. Where would our starting point be?
Put it in the middle.
In the middle. Good. Yeah. Very, very good. So that one's in the middle again. And now we take that same slope. It's that number right in front of x. And this time it just says -2. Sure, Nick, go ahead. What does that mean? Because I need to have a movement up or down and then to the right.
It means down because the negative doesn't like going up.
Yep, you got it. You're definitely going to go down.
It's afraid of heights.
You're right. Negatives are you're too negative to go up high, right? So then you go 2 down, and then how far to the right do you go?
Well, 0, I think.
Well, if you have -2 over 0, that if you try and calculate that, that actually gives you undefined. So what is on the bottom of every single whole number like that?
Oh, 1.
1. Yeah, very
I
good.
forgot.
No, it's so good. Your question, oh my gosh, you guys are amazing. So 1 is on the bottom of every single whole number. So we would put over 1, and you're always going to the right. So if it's a whole number, you go down or up, and then always go to the right. So we would go down to right 1, down to right 1, and then we would draw our line.
Yeah, because it doesn't go left because it's always right.
Always right, because we read the graph from left to right. So now if you wanted to go to get some points on the left, you could reverse both of them completely. You could go to up and left 1, but it's too confusing. Just go up or down and then to the right. Okay, what about this last one? Where would this last one start? Good, I'm so glad. Yes, that one would start at 0, 0. Because, yep, again, there's no b, there's no y-intercept, so it goes in the middle. And now the slope tells me where to go from that point, and it's from that number right in front of x. And Callie, you got it, very good. Because it's a positive 1, we're going to go up 1, and I put my dot in the middle already. We go up 1. Good job, right 5. That's perfect. Yep, there would be my dot. And it's fine to draw a line between those 2 points. I always did 3, but 2 is just fine. 2 is quicker. We like quick. So that purple line there, that would be the y equals 1/5 x. Nice job with that, you guys. Seriously. Tired. Did I take your brain with all that? That's okay. That's okay. Okay. We are running a little bit short on time, so I'm going to skip that equation solving review. But I will hang out if someone wants to go through that, totally fine, but I will skip that. And I just want to talk about graphing these crazy unique lines. Okay, the first unique line that we want to talk about is y equals 3. Okay, this line is kind of crazy because this is a line. This is the equation of a line. What is it missing? What does it not have?
The x-axis.
There's nothing with the x-axis. So since there's no mention of the x-axis, that tells us that it's not touching that x-axis at all. So what type of a line would go through y equals 3 and not touch the x-axis at all?
Y, like 3 in the...
Yes, it would be. I like what you guys have there, these 2 lines here. And it wouldn't be undefined, Callie. We got to talk about the type of line. You're right, though. That's the type of slopes that we're talking about here. Yeah, guys, look at this. Only thing is this is through y equals 5. Yeah, and that's okay. We'll leave it. Just go with it. This one is y equals 5. If I wanted to do y equals 3, yeah, I would have to do a horizontal line between y equals 3. But
Oh,
those,
that's right.
Yep, very
I've
good.
done this assignment, so I
Good.
was thinking like I need to retrace my memory.
Nope, that's okay. You guys did it. You did, a lot of you did it really well. But those types of lines are just your horizontal lines. They're flat. What types of slope do they have? It's not undefined. Callie's thinking of the other one, which is good. It's either undefined or this other value. It's not a negative line. If I had a negative line, that means I would be going down on my graph from left to right because negative lines always slope down. Yeah, Aiden, it's flat, like not the earth. I like that, but it's flat. So what types of lines what types of slopes would be flat? Like the line's not changing at all. So what do you think it should be? If the line doesn't change, it's not undefined. What's the other one? What you think? That's okay. That's why we're talking about it, right? So since it's flat, every time it's a y equals, that means your slope would be 0 just because it's flat. So the line isn't changing, the line isn't moving, your slope would definitely be 0. Now the other one would be an x equals type of equation. Okay, if I had like x equals -5, there's no mention. Yeah, what if you had y equals 0? That's a very specific type of line. If we had y equals 0, where does y equal 0, guys? At the origin. Yeah, it totally would. That would just be the x-axis. That would be this line here. This line is when y equals 0. It's a good one. But yeah, x equals -5 would be over here at -5. It's just a vertical line because it's got no mention of that y-axis. And then what type of slope is that one? Callie kind of already said it. What's that word again? Undefined. Yeah, that slope is undefined. Very, very good. Good stuff. That's Tim. Hi, Tim. Tim needs a body and a mohawk. Very good. The other slope is 0. So it's undefined or 0. When it's a flat line for y equals, your slope is 0. It's just the number 0. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Right? You'd think it's a crazy, no, but undefined means you can't measure it. And think about it, it's vertical. So, yeah, good stuff. Well, my friends, I have kept you over because of how fun you are to chit-chat with. I have some cool beans on there. I don't know why.
I actually saw a shirt in Orange Beach with that.
Are you serious? That's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys are all set to go. Thank you for coming and for just being really fun to work with. If you need any help, let me know. And if you want to stay and go through equation solving, I'm here. So, but have a great day.